and welcome to your 3-part Healthy Gut Advisor video training. I am so happy that you took the time to sign up, and I hope you get some really good tips that I'm going to share with you over these next 3 videos. So let's start with a little history. Let's go all the way back to Hippocrates. He was a Greek physician of the age of Pericles, born around 460 BC, and is considered one of the most outstanding figures in the history of medicine. It was he who was one of the first to suggest that all disease and health begins in the gut. And Hippocrates has such a profound effect on medicine that to this day physicians sign the Hippocratic Oath in order to be able to practice medicine. And you'll see in a moment that we have literally come full circle. Around the turn of the 19th century, medicine moved away from traditional holistic and natural preparations of treating the underlying cause and began to embrace pharmaceutical methods that focused on treating symptoms. And along with that, our diet also changed, especially after World War II. With the help of modern kitchen conveniences and appliances, we grew to more of a diet of processed foods. Then there was the introduction of genetically altered foods and pesticides and herbicides on our crops. And today we use fake and synthetic fats and food instead of the real thing. Our animal harvesting has increased, and we add antibiotics and hormones to speed up the production and to keep them from getting sick. We have come so far with modernization and processing of our food that we can literally create 3D printed food. Food that comes out of a printer. All that's missing is the Star Trek Enterprise, right? Beam me up, Scotty. But here's the thing. As we industrialize our food and our animals, the rate of disease and cancer has also increased. Now, why is that? Because like Hippocrates once said, all disease and health begins in the gut. And we are just starting to figure this out. About 2 years ago, I read a report in one of my industry magazines about how the digestive health segment would become #1 by the year 2016. Wow, that is huge. And if you know how the digestive process works, it completely makes sense. We have researchers mapping the human biome and the bacteria inside of our gut. And in fact, in January 2015, researchers and experts with various scientific backgrounds and industries from 30 organizations in 15 countries started working together on what is called My New Gut Project, designed to study the human gut microbiota and its genome. And just a side note, microbiota is the same as microflora, but microflora is not the correct terminology. So when you hear the word microbiota, it actually is microflora, but we have to call it microbiota. Hang with me. So we have pharmaceutical companies racing to patent as many microbial strains as they can, because they too know that in the future, medicine will start with our gut microbiota, not with antibiotics and other serious potent toxin medications. It's going to be in the gut. So right now, you have pharmaceutical companies developing biological drugs designed to treat disease. Are you ready for this? By restoring the function of the microbiome in the gut. This is huge, and it makes me so excited. Have you seen the increase in digestive commercials and print ad? I know I have. And the next time you watch television, pay attention to the commercials, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now, I don't really watch TV, my husband does, so I pay attention to the commercials because that really lets you know what is going on. And start paying attention to your print ad as well. Now, according to the National Institute of Health, Dr. John Deaton, Vice President of Technology, says that many researchers believe supporting digestive health and restoring the integrity of the intestinal barrier will be one of the most important goals of health professionals in the 21st century. And again, this is why I'm so excited that you're here. So to translate all this, we need to fix leaky gut. And basically we have come full circle, and I'm really excited to be ahead of the industry, and I want to share my knowledge with you and train you as a healthy gut advisor so that you can be ahead of everyone else as well. Wouldn't that be really cool? Did you know that sales of digestive remedies have grown 7% globally since 2007, reaching $15.7 billion in 2013? The game changers in the digestive supplemental industry are dietary fiber, prebiotics, probiotics, liver support remedies, and the latest consumer recognition gaining fast popularity. Are you ready for this? Digestive enzymes. And it completely makes sense to work on digestion because it is where life starts, and it's our interaction with the world. We digest food by eating. We digest what we breathe, as well as digest our emotions, both happy and sad, and we digest what is put on our skin and on our hair. Now we have a gut lining and we have a brain lining, and we have recently come to understand the connection between the gut and the brain. Ever heard of gut feeling? We are at the forefront of truly healing others by paying attention to the gut. So why is this so important? Because we take the nutrients from our food and we convert them to use them for everything in our body, such as energy, muscles, bone, to think better, to feel better, to regulating our hormones and our reproductive system. And this all starts with digestion and the food that we eat. Now, did you know that when you eat fibrous foods, that not only does your body take the nutrients from it, but the remaining undigested fibers are then fermented by your microbiota to create vitamins such as B12 and vitamin K2. Now, vitamin B12 is used for energy, and it aids in the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, as well as plays a role in the prevention of anemia and dementia. Now, vitamin K2 is super important in that it's the signaler to tell calcium what to do in the body. You can take all the calcium you want, and if you're missing vitamin K2, it will not go into the bone. Instead, it will deposit in the arterial pathways or cause calcification of bones, known as bone spurs. Now, did you know that we have over 10 times as many bacterial cells in our gut than we do cells in our entire body? We are learning that our bacterial cells play a huge role in the function of our immune system and have been linked with a dysfunctional gut to problems with obesity, mental health and behavioral issues, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, skin issues such as eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, and candida. We have also learned some of the specific pathogenic bacteria as well as dysbiosis as potential underlying culprits for IBS, Crohn's, and colitis, which is completely on the rise today. So why is this important to you? Well, you can become an industry expert on whatever it is you want by literally working with the gut. Now let me explain. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you work with women with thyroid issues. Do you know that by removing certain foods, adding others, and then working on the gut, that you can remarkably improve your client's thyroid issues, including low energy, fatigue, and they might even lose weight? Now, what about cardiovascular disease? Now, if you've read my report about magnesium, you would understand how magnesium plays a role in just about everything in the body. In the report, I talk about how over 80% of the population is deficient in magnesium. That alone is huge. And magnesium regulates calcium. And a deficiency may lead to problems with calcium, such as calcium calcifying in the arteries, which drives up blood pressure and eventually may lead to a blocked artery. I hope there's some little bells and whistles and little lights going off. Now, magnesium keeps calcium from being able to calcify or allow it to deposit in our arteries or on our bone. Magnesium keeps it in its liquid state so that it cannot get through to the arteries, and it will be able, if it does go through the arteries, it's easily taken out and it goes through the kidneys and it exits via the urine without causing any problems whatsoever. Now, you've heard of kidney stones, right? There's actually 4 types of kidney stones. There's calcium oxalate, struvite, uric acid, and cysteine type stones. Now, approximately 4 out of 5 kidney stones are calcium oxalate stones. And part of the mystery to these types of stones is the absence of magnesium. Magnesium, like I said, keeps calcium in liquid suspension so that excess calcium can safely leave the body and does not deposit anywhere and cause harm, especially to your kidneys. Calcium gets a bad rap and has been ripped apart in the media in the past couple of years. Now, a study published in the British Medical Journal in 2013 linked calcium to the increased risk of mortality from heart disease in women. There were also higher rates of disease overall among women who supplemented with calcium. Now, just stay with me. In the Journal of American Medical Association, Internal Medicine suggests that a high intake of supplemental calcium was associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease in men. Now, yes, it is the calcium that is causing the problem. However, there is more to the story. It's the lack of magnesium along with supporting nutrients such as vitamin D or too much vitamin D and a deficiency of vitamin K2. Now, vitamins and minerals work synergistically in the body, and this is why organic whole foods have the correct ratios. And if you carry a line of supplements, I want you to go and take a look at the label on the back, your mineral supplement. Not so much the vitamin one, just the mineral one. And I want you to pay attention to the ratios. For each element, it will be different for a reason, to ensure that you get the right ratio so that it doesn't cause any harm in your body. We are not meant to take just one element or vitamin, as they work together in the body in many different ways. If anything, they support each other. In nature, there is a symbiotic relationship between microorganisms in the ground and the vitamins and minerals within the plant to provide us the perfect ratios to keep us balanced and in good health. Now, if you have good internal microbiota and you're eating foods that came out of the ground and are eating foods highest in vitamin K2, as well as the right amount of magnesium ratio to calcium, the calcium will be able to go into the bone where it belongs to keep the skeletal system strong and stay out of the arteries and the kidneys. Now, after taking my Healthy Gut Advisor Weekend Intensive, you would know that your client would need magnesium to make hydrochloric acid and would also need good hydrochloric acid in your stomach so that magnesium and calcium can be utilized in the body. And you would also know that when your client with high blood pressure is consulting with you, you would now know to look at her diet, see what her magnesium foods are. Maybe you need to add more of these magnesium type foods. You'd know to cut out caffeine and make sure they have good hydrochloric acid in their stomach. And you would also make sure they were drinking plenty of water and to get them eating salt. Yep, you heard me right. We need to be eating salt. It all goes back to nutrition and digestion. Now, I get a ton of questions from health coaches and network marketing professionals who truly want to help others, but lack the resources. So in my next videos, I will share with you a couple of their questions and the answers. I want you to see that you are not alone, that you may have the same type of questions, but didn't feel quite confident enough to ask or just didn't want to have to bug anybody. I want you to feel confident in asking your questions. In fact, when you become a Healthy Gut Advisor, you will have a safe, private place to ask your questions and others to help you with the answer. Together, we can become a Healthy Gut Advisor community, coaching and empowering others on their health and wellness journey. Until next time, I'll see you.